Welcome friends. Now we'll talk about the next topic, and that is missions to the moon. As we all know, moon is the natural satellite of Earth. Okay, and it's the closest heavenly object to Earth. Closest in what sense? Actually, the distance between Earth and moon is around 3,84,000 kilometers, and it takes light to travel from moon to Earth only 1 second, because scientists and astronauts they were inquisitive about the conditions on moon. They wanted to discover many things on moon. In the beginning, the countries which took part in moon missions were USSR or Russia, and second was USA, America. Okay, now the first country to send spacecrafts in moon was Russia. Okay, Russia had sent the Luna series, LUNA, Luna series of spacecrafts, which went near the orbit, which went in the orbit near the moon, and they gathered important information from moon. From 1959 till 1959, around 15 such missions were undertaken by Russia, and out of which 4 were able to land on moon. Now, what these missions did from 1959 to 1975, 15 such missions were undertaken, and in these missions, the important information like the gravity on moon or the density of the stones etc. on the moon or the radiations coming from moon were studied. Samples of stones were collected from the moon and they were brought from moon to Earth. Okay, so these were the missions undertaken by Russia or USSR, and the name of those missions was under Luna series. What? Luna series. Now all these missions were unmanned. Unmanned means what? These were simply spacecrafts without any human being in it, and they reached the moon or landed on moon, and they were controlled totally from Earth. Okay, there were no human beings inside the spacecraft. Now second country we talk about is America. From 1962 to 1972, America also launched spacecrafts, and the specialty of America or USA was it was able to send spacecrafts which were manned. And we all know in 1969, 1st July 1969, Neil Armstrong was the first astronaut who landed on moon. Okay, so successfully a human being was able to land on moon and return back, and that was done by America. So that was the accomplishment of USA to send the first astronaut on moon. Now, just like USA or Russia, other countries have also undertaken moon missions, like the European countries, then China, Japan, and even India. We'll talk about India. See, in 2008, India had sent Chandrayaan, okay, which was placed in an orbit around the moon. It is now orbiting around the moon, and it took a number of images or photographs of the moon surface, and it sent it back to the Earth. ISRO, I repeat, ISRO was the organization which was responsible for sending Chandrayaan on moon. And one more thing you should understand, this particular mission was successful, and India was the first country to discover water on moon. Other countries didn't discover, but through the photographs obtained, it was proved that there is existence of water on the surface of moon. So that is our great accomplishment in space research. Now I'll also talk about some famous astronauts, Indian astronauts. Okay, see, the first Indian astronaut to go in space, and in space, not on moon. I'm talking about space. Space means what? Going at a height of around 2000 or 2500 kilometers and then return back to the Earth. That is called as these people are called as astronauts. And the first astronaut was Rakesh Sharma. Okay, and this person was sent in space in a spacecraft along with the astronauts of Russia. It was a Russia joint venture in which our astronaut was sent in space, and Rakesh Sharma was the first astronaut to go in, Indian astronaut to go in space. Okay. Then the most famous astronaut, as we all know, late Kalpana Chawla. Okay. Actually, she was a graduate of aeronautical engineering from Punjab, and then she got doctorate to study for higher studies in America and Colorado University, and she was sent in space by the Space Shuttle Columbia. I have already told you what is the Space Shuttle Columbia. It's a spaceship which goes in space and then returns back to the Earth. And Kalpana Chawla was sent in space in the year 2003, and she completed 336 hours in space. How much? 336 hours in space. And when the Columbia shuttle was returning back to the Earth, there was some technical snag, and the Columbia shuttle or the spacecraft burst into flames. And unfortunately, all the astronauts in that spacecraft or space shuttle perished or died. And Kalpana Chawla also died in this particular spaceship. So that was a tragic incident. Very few times such things happen, and there is a great risk in all such missions. So that was about Kalpana Chawla. Third astronaut, again it was sent by America, and this astronaut was Sunita Williams. She is from Indian origin, but she is born and brought up in USA. Okay, and she was sent to the International Space Station. Now, at certain height above the Earth, there is an International Space Station which is orbiting around the Earth. Okay, there's a spacecraft, and the astronauts go into the spacecraft, that International Space Station, stay there, carry out their studies, and they return back to the Earth using a space shuttle. Now, the space shuttle used is not Columbia, but an advanced space shuttle is used that is called Discovery. It is called as what? Discovery. And Sunita Williams has made a record of staying in that International Space Station for 192 days. How much? 192 days. And she went in space in 2008. Now, not only she stayed in the space station for 192 days, she also carried out important repairs of the space station from outside the spacecraft. Understood? There were some technical snags outside the International Space Station. She went outside in space, repaired it, and she was outside for 29 hours. For 29 hours she was outside the spacecraft and she carried out the repairs. One thing you should understand, that when these astronauts are going outside the spacecraft, they don't fall on the Earth because they are moving, they are in motion along with the spacecraft. Okay, so there is no chance that they will fall on the Earth. Understood? And that was about Sunita. Just like Moon, okay, many countries carried out Mars missions, sending spacecraft to Mars. NASA was the first to send the spacecrafts to Mars, and India also carried out one such mission that was called as Mangalyaan, and mission to Mars. The specialty of this mission was that this mission was started in 2013. It was launched in space in 2013 in the month of November, and it took around 10 months to reach Mars, and it was finally set in an orbit around Mars. Okay, it was a great achievement for ISRO to send Mangalyaan to Mars, and India has proved its technological power in space research. So that is about what? Mangalyaan. Okay. So one more topic is there related to missions to other planets. Now I told you about mission to Moon, mission to Mars, now we talk about mission to other planets. Some countries have sent spacecrafts even to planets beyond Mars. Okay, like example, NASA. NASA has sent Voyager type of spacecrafts to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, as well as Neptune. So the details of these planets can be obtained in detail. Details of these planets can be obtained by photographs sent by these spacecrafts. Okay. At the same time, scientists were also able to collect the dust which is emitted from a moving meteoroid or comet. Okay, and all this increase the information which is presently available to us. So that is the mission to other planets. They are not given much details about it, but simply I am giving you extra information about NASA. Okay, NASA has carried out a number of voyages to unmanned, not manned, they are unmanned, and to different planets, which include Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. So that is about mission to other planets. Okay, now we'll talk about Indian space technology. See, the just now in the previous part, I said that the scientists were able to collect the dust which is emitted from meteor. By mistake I said meteor. It is not meteor, but it is asteroid. Okay, asteroid and comets. Now we talk about the how India has developed in space technology. See, the whole credit goes to the scientists of ISRO, and ISRO is able to place satellites in orbit around the Earth. And up to how much load? The satellites can take a load of around 2500 kg. Means the satellites of 2500 kg can be placed in orbit around the Earth. Okay, and we can place them in different orbits. Means either polar orbit or equator orbit. Accordingly, GSLV is used. GSLV means, I told you, geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, and PSLV means what? Polar satellite launch vehicle. Both these are developed by ISRO, and India or ISRO gets contracts of other countries to launch their satellites, because manufacturing a satellite is not enough. Important part is to have a satellite launch vehicle to place it in a orbit around the Earth. Satellites can be easily made, but to place them in orbit we require what? Yes, satellite launch vehicle, and this is done successfully by what? ISRO. And the most important thing, India is making use of these satellites for various purposes, right from telecommunications, for mobile networks, for internet, etc. And so throughout India there is a big change which has been seen. Okay, today TV, mobile phones, and other telephone, etc. has reached each and every corner of India, and that happened because of what? Extensive use of satellites. This is a revolution which has been brought in science as well as in social sectors. Okay, now India makes use of GSAT and INSAT for getting weather information, or for also getting for telecommunication, and for broadcasting TV channels, radio, even mobile, for mobile communications. Second type of series is EduSat. EduSat type of satellites are used for education. Getting it? For broadcasting programs related to education. Then there is IRS type of satellites, which are Indian remote sensing satellites, which take images of the forest or the natural vegetation, and accordingly study can be done about the natural vegetation in India. Okay, that is IRS. Then one more type of satellites, IRNSS, which I have already told you. They are used for navigation system, to know the location, position or location of a particular place using latitudes and longitudes. This particular system is useful, and IRNSS satellites are used for positioning systems. Okay, so India has become self-reliant in space technology, or especially launching of satellites or use of satellites. That is a big, we can say, achievement for India, and also because of ISRO. Now we'll also talk about space debris. Now what is a space debris? Suppose a satellite goes in space and it is orbiting around the Earth. It is useful for certain period, say 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever is that. After 15 years, the satellite stops working, but it will continue orbiting in what? Around the Earth. Many such satellites which have stopped working are orbiting now in orbiting around the Earth, and they are adding to the debris. Getting it? That is called as space debris. Similarly, the in a multi-stage rocket, I told you, the last stage is used for launching the satellite in with a horizontal velocity called as vertical velocity, a critical velocity. Okay, the last stage of the rocket detaches and it remains in orbit around the Earth. So all such pieces of satellites or pieces of what, the fuel chambers, etc., are still orbiting around the Earth, and they can lead to collision with the active satellites. Many times they also collide with two satellites may collide with each other, and they can lead to loss of these satellites. So understand this, that these satellites, the active satellites, are in danger, are in a risk that they may collide with this debris which is orbiting around the Earth. A time will come that it will become difficult, impossible to launch a satellite, because already there is lot of debris which is moving around the Earth. The debris may collide with the new satellites and cause destruction. So that is called as what? Space debris. Hope you understood this topic.